I'm vegetarian, have been for years, and I know what you're thinking. Here comes another lecture, another guilt trip, another person who thinks they're morally superior because of what's on their plate. That's not what this is. I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to force my choices on you. But I am here to share something Krishna said about food, consciousness, and what happens when we take life for taste. What you do with this information is completely your choice, but you deserve to hear it. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 18, Krishna reveals something that changes everything. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle priest, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and an outcast. A priest, a cow, an elephant, a dog, equal. Not equal in form, not equal in intelligence, equal in essence. Krishna is saying that the same soul that animates a human body animates an animal body, the same consciousness, the same spark of the divine. The packaging is different, the source is identical. This isn't metaphor, this isn't poetry, this is the foundation of how Krishna sees all living beings. And if we claim to follow his teachings, we have to at least wrestle with this truth. Here's the question no one wants to ask. If a soul exists in that chicken, that cow, that fish, what happens when we kill it for our meal? Most people don't think about this. The meat arrives packaged, cleaned, separated from anything that resembles a living being. It's designed that way, so you don't have to connect the dots. But let's connect them. That steak was a cow. That cow had eyes that saw, ears that heard, a heart that beat. It felt fear when it was taken to slaughter. It struggled. It didn't want to die. I'm not saying this to disturb you. I'm saying this because it's true. We've created a system so efficient that we never have to witness the violence our meals require, but the violence still happens 3 times a day, every day, for billions of animals. And someone is participating in that chain. Someone is creating the demand. Someone is paying for it to continue. If that someone is you should at least know what you're funding. In chapter 14, verse 17, Krishna explains how the 3 modes of nature affect us. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. Now here's where food connects. Every food carries the energy of how it came into being. Plants grow toward the sun. They're harvested, not slaughtered. Their death doesn't involve fear, pain, or struggle. But meat carries the energy of terror, of violence, of an animal that fought to survive and lost. When you consume that energy, it becomes part of you, not just physically, energetically, spiritually. This is why Vedic traditions have always emphasized Sattvic food in the mode of goodness, not because of arbitrary rules, but because what you eat shapes what you become. You want peace? Eat peace. You want clarity? Consume clarity. But if you're consuming fear, violence, and death, don't be surprised when your mind struggles to find stillness. Let's talk about something people avoid. Karma. Every action has a consequence. This isn't religious belief, it's observable reality. Drop something, it falls. Hurt someone, eventually hurt returns. When an animal is killed for your plate, a karmic debt is created. Not because some angry god is keeping score, but because that's how the universe maintains balance. You participated in taking a life. That participation has weight. Now, some people say, I didn't kill it, I just bought it. But that's like saying the person who hires a hitman isn't responsible for the murder. You created the demand. You funded the act. You are part of the chain. I'm not saying you're a terrible person. Most people eating meat have never thought about it this way. The system is designed to keep you from thinking about it. But now you're thinking about it, and that's where responsibility begins. The question isn't whether karma is real. The question is whether you want to keep accumulating this particular kind. In chapter 10, verse 20, Krishna says, I am the Supersoul seated in the hearts of all living beings. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Krishna isn't just in temples. He is not just in scriptures. He's in the heart of every living creature. If Krishna is present in every heart, then every act of harm is not just physical, it becomes spiritual. That animal on your plate? Krishna was present in its heart. It trusted life the same way you do right now. It wanted to live the same way you do. I know that's uncomfortable to hear. It should be. Here's my personal view, and I'm being completely honest with you. I believe eating meat is wrong, not because a book told me, but because I cannot justify causing suffering when I don't need to. I don't need meat to survive, neither do you. We have access to abundant plant-based options that can give us every nutrient we require. So the only reason left for eating meat is taste, pleasure, convenience. And here's the question that haunts me. Is my taste more important than their life? For me, the answer is no. It's clearly no. What's your answer? Now, let me address what you might be thinking. But humans have always eaten meat. Yes, and humans have always done many things we've since recognized as wrong. Slavery, child labor, treating women as property. We've always done it isn't a moral argument, it's just history. But animals eat other animals. Lions don't have grocery stores. They don't have moral reasoning. They don't have the option to choose otherwise. You do. But I need protein. Every plant-based protein source that exists proves this isn't true. Beans, lentils, nuts, seeds, tofu, tempeh. Entire civilizations have thrived without meat. Olympic athletes compete at the highest levels without meat. The protein argument is a myth the meat industry has spent billions to maintain. But it tastes good. This is the only honest objection, and I respect the honesty. But taste is a preference. Preferences can change. I used to love meat. The smell, the taste, all of it. Now the thought of it makes me uncomfortable. Your taste buds adapt to whatever you feed them. Within weeks of stopping meat, your cravings shift. What once seemed essential becomes optional. What once seemed delicious becomes questionable. This isn't just about what you eat anymore. We're living in a world where compassion is desperately needed, where violence seems to be increasing, where people are more disconnected from each other than ever. And 3 times a day, billions of people participate in a system of industrial violence without even registering it. I don't think these things are unrelated. How we treat the most vulnerable, including animals who cannot speak for themselves, reflects who we are. It shapes our consciousness. It affects our capacity for empathy. When you normalize violence toward animals, something in you becomes comfortable with violence. When you disconnect from the suffering your choices cause, you practice disconnection, and that disconnection doesn't stay limited to animals. It bleeds into how you see other humans, how you see the planet, how you see yourself. The world doesn't change with big speeches. It changes with small, repeated choices, like what you put on your plate. Compassion isn't divisible. You can't be kind to some beings and violent toward others without creating conflict inside yourself. The spiritual path isn't just about meditation and mantras. It's about aligning your actions with your values. Every single day, every single meal. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're an adult. You have the right to make your own choices, and you'll face the consequences of those choices, whatever they may be. But I wanted you to hear this perspective, not from a place of judgment, from a place of genuine care for your spiritual development. Krishna sees all beings with equal vision. He's present in every heart. Every act of violence toward his creatures is noted, not by an angry God keeping score, but by a universe that maintains perfect balance. What you eat is ultimately between you and your conscience. But now your conscience has more information than it did 9 minutes ago. What you do next is your choice. Let me know in the comments. Has this changed how you see your food? I'm not looking for arguments, just honest reflections. Whatever your answer is, share it. And subscribe if you're here for truth, even when truth is uncomfortable.